Go.
Hi guys, how's it going? So I'm going to talk to you about 5 ways to increase your sales. Tip number 1, play the multiplier. Now what do I mean by play the multiplier? Well, I'm in the wheel writing industry, and strangely if someone asks me if I sell wheels, I say no. So they go, hang on a minute, what do you mean you don't sell wheels? You're a wheel writer. Well, the fact is a wheel, you can get it online for £9.99. Or you can go to a company and maybe get a wheel for £125. You know, even if it's on discount, it's going to be £99. There's no money in it. And therefore I can't reinvest in my business, I can't expand my business. So we play the multiplier. What does that mean? Well, we don't do wills, we do estate planning. So what we do is we sell our clients a number of products under a package price. So for example, if you had a couple, they could buy a will, have a trust in that will, and they could have a lasting power of attorney for their finance and one for their health. And because there's 2 of them, then it would be 6 documents. That's a package, and we could happily sell that package at £2,000 in one sitting to a client. They've got value for money, and we've done the absolute best job for them. So that's what I mean by tip number 1, play the multiplier. And of course we see this in other businesses. I guess one of the champions of it is the garage. You go into a garage 20 years ago, you would have got petrol, antifreeze, you know, and maybe some oil. Now of course you can go in and you can get everything from food, papers, wines. They have a mini bakery, coffee shop and a mini supermarket in there. They've clocked on to playing the multiplier. They've clocked on to the fact that their one customer that came in to buy petrol will also buy a lot of products. So in your business, have a look and start talking to people about packages and play the multiplier. Tip number 2, with the business and when you're selling, you need to price condition. So if we look at a package at £2,000, how do you think a client's going to feel if you do a presentation and then at the end of it you say it's £2,000? Some of them will go yes, some of them will fall off their perch. So we price condition. Now within the wheel writing industry there's many ways of doing that. One way that I do it is I talk to the client and I say something along the lines of, we're going to talk about estate planning, and estate planning is going to cost, if you want to put it in place, the cost of a holiday. The difference is this year you maybe went to Spain or Portugal. When you flew back, you were already thinking about where you're going next year, and more importantly, how you're going to pay for it. With estate planning, once it's in place, other than a few tweaks, you never pay again. So putting that in at the beginning of the presentation, then there's no surprises. The client knows that it's about the cost of holiday. So then when you go and speak to the client at the end and you say it's £2,000, then there are no surprises. So the second tip is price condition before at the end you tell them how much it is. Now the third thing is to pre-handle objections. Now one of the worst objections that we hear is, I want to think about it. Now if you go on YouTube you'll see a chap called Dan Locke, brilliant sales trainer. He talks about this pre-handling on one of his YouTube videos. So I'm just going to go through it with you. So we're trying to avoid I want to think about it. So it will go something like this. So Mr. Customer, I'm going to talk to you about estate planning today. And at the end of it you can say a number of things to me. You can say, yes Tim, I love it, I want to go ahead. And that would be fantastic. I'd love to do business. I'd love to do business with you in here, yes. However, you may turn around and say, actually no, it's just not quite a right fit, Tim. You're not quite a right fit, or your product's not quite right, and that's equally as fine. But please do the courtesy at the end of not saying to me, I want to think about it. Because both you and I know that that really means a no. So I'd rather a no than I want to think about it. Is that fair enough? Fantastic. Tip number 4, halve the problem. So we've got a £2,000 product, we do a presentation, and at the end we say to a couple it's £2,000. We can simply halve the problem. Instead of saying that, we say it's £1,000 each, or even better, it's just £995 per person. We've halved the problem, and we can halve it even further and say, and the great news is you pay half now and you pay half when I come back with the documents. So you've halved the problem. And the final tip of the day is what I call the toilet close. Right at the end of the presentation, you've presented to the clients what's the one thing they want. They want you out the way. Whether they're on their own, they just want a couple of minutes to mull over it, or if there's a couple, they want to talk about it. And the last thing they want is you there. And therefore, use the toilet close. Simply put, it says, do you mind if I just borrow your toilet? It gets you out the way, it gives them an opportunity to talk, and then you can come back and say, well, what's your thoughts? So they're my 5 tips for the day to increase sales. My name's Tim Hurd from the Business School of Will Writing.